those that, for the benefit of those that didn't really know Titi Kuti until now, and I'm sure you've been around for a while, you've tried your hands on like so many things in the entertainment industry. So I'm just going to like let you tell us briefly how the journey has been in the industry, how you got to where you are now.
Thank you so much. My name is Titi Kuti. I'm a content producer, content creator, actor, and model. So I started with modeling. That's a long time ago.
Okay.
I used to do. I also used to do television exposure. So I think my first break in modeling was for the telecoms company in Nigeria that was very popular back then. I'm not going to mention the name, but it's the one with the yellow.
That's
fine. Yeah, so I did a total package exposure for them. It was airport branding, it was print, billboards, and TVC, and it lasted for about a year. So I would say that possibly was my first introduction to
the industry.
I was everywhere for that period of time. I was I did like 4 TVCs for them within the year. I was on all their billboards, so it was quite an exposure, and I was quite young, and thankfully I did not mismanage it. I had my indulgences, but I didn't miss out. In general, I don't think I mismanaged it.
Okay.
And then I transitioned into television when the modeling industry started to take a downturn.
I feel like how many years ago? What are we talking about now?
We're talking about, I started modeling in 2004.
Wow, that's been a long time ago.
So I put it from 2004 till 2009 before I transitioned to television. So at the time I was transitioning, modeling had taken a downturn. The industry wasn't so structured anymore. You go for auditions meant for 10 people, you meet 1,000 people. Auditions meant for young men. Somebody is not selling out the bricks anymore.
Yeah. So talking about going into the movie industry, so you transitioned from there to the movie industry again.
Yes. I transitioned to big format events first, which is reality shows. Glow Nigeria Sings, Nigeria's Got Talent, Nigerian Idols, Football Legends. I worked on all those projects. So after from Nigeria, I started production.
Okay.
I became a producer of my show, and then I became the head of production in Nigeria. And then big format shows came, and then I moved to big format. So it was from big format I came back to television.
Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. So that means you've been around for so long, but now you just became an household name, so to say. And all thanks to like the movie King of Boys, if I'm right. So that brings me to my next question. Like King of Boys is actually a huge project. How did you become a part of this project?
Story without including Shola Shibowale. Myself and herself worked on an African Magic project called Hustle. That's where we met. Okay. That was in 2015. I was a producer of the show, and she was one of our major cast. After that show, was my first my first major acting role, because I acted on Hustle too. Even though I was a producer, I also acted. There was a 90s remake series called Palace. Anybody that grew up in the 90s will know Palace. Palace used to be very popular. Yeah. He had everybody back then. So it was a continuation of the story, and I played the lead character as her son.
Okay.
It wasn't something that was all over all stations on TV, because it was a dark communication sponsor project. So it was only on AIT. Yeah, it was only on AIT. So that's where myself and Shola met. I'm just giving you a background. So I met her as a producer first. We've worked
together.
And then we worked together again as an actor. Was about to start, or when they had even started, I was working on MTV Sugar at the time with Smart Media, and then our camps were just side by side. So I went to visit Shola Shibowale on set, because she had been all over me, like, how can we be 10 minutes apart, and then we won't see something. Yeah. So I put her a surprise visit. Wow. And apparently I think she had something in mind already. So we exchanged pleasantries. She picked up the phone, excused herself, and apparently went to call Kemi Adetiba. So Kemi came into the hotel room 5 minutes after. We hugged, Me and her had spoken once or twice through a friend of ours.
Kemi, right?
Yes, that's Kemi.
Okay.
Yeah, I met. We had spoken on the phone through
So
Uche
it wasn't
Kuti.
as if you guys had worked together before. Wow.
I think Shola Shobowale had mentioned me after reading the script that I think this person
can deliver this role better.
Yeah. So when Kemi walked in and she saw me, and we exchanged pleasantries too, we got talking, and 5 minutes later, conversation changes to KOB. And then I'm looking at Shola like, conspirator. You have orchestrated something. And she left till date. She never admitted to it. But I know that that something like that must have transpired. Because Kemi said to me when she saw me that from the very minute she walked into the room, the image she had of Ade Tiger when she was writing the script appeared in person.
Wow.
I didn't realize that I was actually auditioning.
Right there.
This is the guy for this. And then she starts to talk to me extensively, like, okay, when are you available? I'm like, when am I available? You guys are already feel you're on camp. There's somebody already in the hotel that has been
meant to play the role.
Yeah. And then she was like, she just smiled. And then 10 minutes later, her brother, who is the producer, Kemi Adetiba, walks into the room with a contract.
Wow.
I can't sign it. I
How
can't sign this
did all
contract.
of that look? How did it look like? Did it feel like some drama going on there?
Movie script. Like, because all I went was to fulfill a visitation to a bosom friend whom I had promised.
Wow.
That's all.
Wow.
Be a case of she had made up her mind that whatever day I came,
she's gonna call. Wow. Wow.
Contract, and I'm like, I can't sign the contract because I know that you have somebody here who is in the hotel already, and I'm not a destiny hunter. I don't want to let the guy have a shine. And I was like, no, that he already went to the guy and paid him off completely.
Wow.
To allow me to do so. That means that he paid whoever a complete remuneration.
Wow. I'm sure God has that role for you. That's all I can say here.
Absolutely.
That's all I can say.
I asked for 3 days to read the script, and I insisted that I spent the 3 days reading the script in the hotel. And that's how I didn't go back
unplanned. So everything just changed. Wow.
Everything just changed.
Okay, so I was going to ask you later that when you got the script and you saw the role you were to play, and looking at you, you kind of appear like a calm person. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. So when you read the script, you are okay. So that means I'm right. So when you read the script and you figured out that the role you'll be playing is a rugged guy, it's man, and what comes to mind? Was it something that you fell in love with almost immediately? How did you get yourself into that character, Ade Tiger?
I'll start from the first one, that's part one, before going to part two, because I had two different feelings reading both scripts. You see, the feeling of part one was enigmatic because it was something different from what I had seen in the Nigerian film. I would say so because yes, I would say so because what Kemi did was it's not very common outside of the world for a producer to actor script and character bible. I was given the character bible that was almost as big as the script that had the description of all the characters. So it was the character bible that I read first. And when I saw the perception, the perspective of what Kemi had in mind, it was something that anybody who loves acting will fall in love with it. Because usually, yes, in Nigeria, we are used to seeing or expected to see people who look like bouncers and stuff, play roles like that. Yeah, but this was a very sharp contrast, very sharp. Wow. She wanted to tell the proper mafioso story. Like people who actually do these things don't look like
that. They don't even look it,
Yeah,
this guy in part two, you kind of look like an Isma in the part two now.
Yeah. So it was the whole idea behind creating such a character and being daring enough to tell it as far as the Nigerian context is concerned. Like, look, let's leave all these bouncers that look scary. We take
and all,
get a fit looking guy because that's how they really look. They don't look like deadbeats. They look you would know that you are dealing with somebody
suspicious of them at all.
Yeah, you would know that this guy is a bad person, but not by looking. So that alone was a charm for me. It was a breath of fresh air, and it was a challenge. I mean, for every actor, every role that is given to you should be a challenge. If the role doesn't challenge you, don't take the role. Not everybody can do it. Get me? But that's how I think it should be. That's how if I read a script and I don't feel challenged by the character that I'm reading. I don't see how it's going to push me out of my box a little bit. Definitely, I probably will not take it.
So saying that means you probably even turn down a lot of scripts.
At the time when nobody knew me, people would be like, "What is this Shakara? Is this what doing?" It wasn't Shakara. It's just I know the kind of story I want to tell for myself.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So that was it for KOB1. KOB2 was a whole different level. Yeah, because KOB1 was one of the most difficult things any actor will tell you is to act a scene or to act a character that doesn't speak much. It means all you have to communicate is emotions. And that's all I had in part one. In the whole of the script, I appeared in 26 scenes. I spoke 5 times in all.
Wow.
It means every time you see this character,
the body language
and expression. So that is a lot more difficult than actually dialogue, because even after your dialogue, it is your body language that expresses your dialogue. So that was part one. That part one taught me new things. I exercised some muscles I haven't exercised before, because I saw that part two the direction the story was going was centered around me a lot.
Yeah.
So there will be more speaking, and most of the times that people just imagined what I did in part one, they were actually going to see the action.
I watch part one all over again.
Most people did.
Most
people did. Yeah. So in part one, you just know, okay, this guy is the guy that does all the dirty work, but you don't really get to see anything he's doing. But in part two, it was all out, like all that action was going to be brought to bear. So it was an amplification. I had to step up the game. And I was.
That makes it an extra challenge.
Yeah, I was exceptionally impressed at Kemi's daringness, because I know that when she was writing that script, she had people that will have told her, okay, considering the marketing perspective of the environment we are, let this story go in the direction
of already.
Yeah, let's at least we have some people. Let the story go there. We can use it to back. But Kemi was about the story, and that's what it takes actually. Why are we here? We are here because of the story. Follow the story to the end. Kemi was going to follow the story to the end without listening to anybody, irrespective of how it turned out.
Yeah, and it doesn't really have to create unnecessary cast to make it up.
Yeah. So that you write the script to favor. No. This woman has lost her 2 children. This is all that is left for her as a child, and we pick up the story from that angle.
Yeah.
There were a couple of other actors even in part one that she could have tailored the story around. And that is that's what the average Nigerian producer would do. Thinking of marketing first, like I've found money from God knows where.
Why it's the story first here?
Yeah, I'm not going to recapitulate on it. But she took a risk, and for me, I'm a very daring risk taker myself. Wake me up in the morning, tell me that, show me a dream, and tell me to achieve this dream, we got to go 60,000 feet in the air from a helicopter, jump up. Not knowing what's on ground. I will go with you, because that's what makes life worth it. You got to take risk. So,
interesting, but not a life-threatening one, though.
Well, we hope for it not to be life-threatening, but what makes life worth living? You gotta want to try stuff. You gotta know, how do you discover things if you don't try? How do you discover things if you don't try? So for me, I've always been attracted to risk. That's been my biggest attraction to Kemi, and she knows it.
So you like risk takers, so to say.
Yeah, positive risk though. Let's things that will change the world.
Definitely.
Like for me, this is in the line of my career. I've always been one that's advocated for so many things, so many statements that KOB has come to make now. I've always advocated so many things that KOB is, that KOB is known for, language inclusion, culture, cultural phenomena as far as film is concerned. I've always been an advocate for this. Things like let's leave all this. Let's stop bringing people that have been speaking on the top of their noses to come and express Yoruba adage. No, Yoruba adage comes with an attitude. It comes with a vibe on its own. So you gotta speak the language and then put a subtitle. That's what the Westerners want to see. Same thing for Igbo. The culture has its own dynamism. You can't come and replicate Igbo, something that happens in the core. Look at Odogumale, he was speaking Igbo.
Yeah, Igbo. You don't bring a Yoruba person to come and play that role. Get the right people for the role. Yeah, I think.
That kind of role in English.
It's not going to flow no way. No way. No matter how well you translate it. Yeah, you
absolutely. That's exactly. Yeah. So I've always been an advocate for many of these things in my own little way. Every time I have opportunity, I always try to mention them. Look, this is the reason why we are not crossing some boundaries as far as the global scale is concerned. Because you guys are busy trying to sound like everybody's trying to talk over the top of their noses. You can't speak better than that. You can't. It's their culture.
Yeah. So why don't you just express yourself in years?
Yeah. The name of the film is Apocalypto. They didn't speak English once in the film. And I watched that personally at least 4 times. It was I was so involved. We've had nice films that will have broken barriers, and they didn't realize, the producers never realized that what didn't allow them to break those barriers is language inclusion.
Okay, so moving on, I'm going to ask, what has appearing in KOB done for your career? You specifically, what has it done for your career?
That's a good question. And I always say this every time I have an opportunity, that KOB was never about me.
I'm just saying you here.
I'm just like every other actor.
Okay.
In there. It's about the higher perspective of things. Seeing what KOB does for Nollywood as far as positioning is concerned.
Yeah.
Globally, I think it's a new definition. It's not a new standard. It's a challenge to so many other producers that, like I'm sure a lot of producers will do more daring things now with their, so for me, it's always been the higher perspective. Like, I'm happy with all the attention the film is getting, and not just me, every character is getting, because it feels good to be part of something that, so it feels good to be part of something that has become a footprint in the sound of time as far as transition is concerned for an industry that my craft is it's into. But for me, it's always been beyond me. It's always been beyond. It's the higher perspective, seeing where the industry in general is going.
Yeah. And
understanding that KOB now has become a turning point positively.
Yeah. We should keep up with the standard. I don't think everybody would want to go below.
So for me, it's to have 10 Nigerian films or series of that standard and above on Netflix.
And we're taking over. Yeah.
So that's my perspective. That's my dream. It's not about me. I hope that at every point in time, and when I do have the opportunity, I would always make my mark in that direction. But for me, it's never been individualistic. I've never been an individual actor per se, like, thinking of myself alone. No, it's always about the higher perspective for me. And KOB, I am happy with what KOB is doing. I was watching yesterday, or was it 2 days ago, that in the UK Parliament, the chairman of the Parliament was talking about KOB. So that's mileage. That's mileage. Look at that's acceptance. These guys don't speak Yoruba.
Yes,
these guys don't speak Igbo. But look at how much acceptance
that the movie has gotten.
This is that naturally, So, and Netflix, this is the first attempt of such. So it was an investment for Netflix to attempt something like this, and it's been a huge success. So imagine what that has done for the Nigerian industry.
Yeah.
Netflix Canada and Netflix Kenya, they are now streaming KOB on their bottom number 1 and 2.
Wow.
So that's mileage. So it's open doors. We just have to now continue to ensure that we meet the standard. Other films came out during that period. They did very well, but some of them did not get as much recognition as KOB.
Definitely.
You know why? Some of them did. So it's let's move forward progressively.
Definitely. So now we are even having more streaming platforms going after our local content. And this brings me to ask that, what do you think is responsible for this? Because this wasn't what we used to have in the past. But now there are more streaming giants coming after local content. What do you think are the contributing factors to this?
One, our narratives are getting stronger.
Okay.
Our professionals are getting they are getting more more craft. So it's a combination of many things. We have so many filmmakers in Nigeria who went abroad to study and are back home with all that knowledge making films. We're having more films coming into the industry. People are willing to invest more. The industry itself is expanding, and they are seeing that growth. And as far as the African continent is concerned, Nigeria has the numbers. So everybody knows that whatever business you're doing is a numbers game. Yeah. So that is attracting these guys. All right. And which is why it's a very strategic time for us to put out exceptional content. I mean, the world has advanced beyond, the world has, gone, they've been on this level for some time now. Africa is just catching up. So it's not a bad thing. It's a warm development. Having many streaming platforms. I mean, the world is becoming so diverse, and technology is the only thing you cannot fight.
Look at what we experienced just recently. Yeah. where the social media the platforms were down. So it was almost as if no one existed anymore.
So that's to tell you what technology is. So as far as media and content is concerned, it doesn't stop cinema. There are some experiences that the cinema you will still have it.
Yeah.
It's break their own bread. You get me? So it doesn't stop televising on TV. So you just need those alternatives. The more alternatives you have, people walk around with their phones now. They want to be able to watch content on their phones. And when they get home, they want to be able to watch on TV. And they want to go out on a date with their girlfriends or spouses. They want to be able to go to a cinema. So you have to understand that all those, we can't be monotonous in, I mean, it doesn't just get boring. There's no growth in that. So, and more are coming, as I've heard. What has come is to bring more diversity to an industry that needs that diversity. People need those options. So we have the content and the skill now that is attracting them, and the numbers too. So we have to just be bolder with resources, especially like I can't allow money waste. It's what that will allow cast for a film and be casting faces. And which is the reason why majority of times you see the same faces.
The same set over and over.
Yeah, although it's good, these actors have an opportunity to express themselves, to challenge themselves by, showcasing themselves in different ways. But at the same time, it is, if you want new talents to be discovered, if you want the industry to have more, to be more robust, you can't cast faces alone. No, you have to cast according to the story. For this story.
I think that's one key thing that I've actually learned from it. Okay, so now talking about how you've gotten more recognition, how you've gotten more acceptance, and I'm sure the scripts are probably trickling in hand. Like you have more people who want to tap into Ade Tiger at the moment. So that means you'll be more here in Nigeria. Are you planning on maybe relocating back to Nigeria or something?
So I've always thought of media and content and creativity from a local perspective. It's the only thing that is, my closest description is mathematics. Everybody speaks mathematics, irrespective of tribe. So for me, it's the same thing for content. All right. I'm looking forward to a time where it doesn't matter where you base. I mean, he's one of the biggest American actors. He's not American, he lives in Canada. So for me, wherever the amazing story takes me, is where I, irrespective of where I live. You get me? And I don't think I need to be physically on ground in Nigeria to hustle out the scripts. No, I don't. That's small thinking. Because there are filmmakers and there are films that are being shot in this place to run that. So everywhere you go, there are the challenges, there are opportunities are there. So for me, as far as filming is concerned, and
Yeah.
movies are concerned, I consider myself a global citizen. If you tell me, if you give me a script and it is in Japan,
Mexico today, you're there.
yeah, it's in Japan. 'Cause the next script I have, I'm just going to leave this one out real quick. The next film that I'm possibly going to be doing is going to be shot in Mexico in December.
I'm a soothsayer.
Yeah. So it's going to be shot in Mexico. And it's by a Nigerian. It's a Nigerian producer that is shooting it.
Wow.
So that's where we're going. I don't have to be physically on ground. If I need to show up, I will show up. If I need to be around for a year, I will. But I'm not going to deny myself opportunity for expansion, you know, for me, because for me, I'm not one of those jackpot.
But you honestly already.
No. You could trust me, you could see me in the country next year. It's the what is the mentality? I don't blame people who are doing it for social reasons, which is, you know, create a better life for yourself and your family. Of course, I don't. Everybody wants that.
Definitely.
For me, it's all about expansion, knowledge, expansion. You know, learn some things, learn new things. You know, expose yourself to newer opportunities and things like that. So it's not from the perspective of let's run away from it. No, Nigeria would always be dear to my heart, and that is just me. It doesn't have, and that's me. It doesn't have to be, I mean, that no critic to other people I mean, that social part of it is integral. Okay. It's integral. Everybody definitely wants better security, better order. But for me, I hope Nigeria at some point to develop and grow, you know, beyond. Sometimes there's a saying that it gets bad, it gets worse when it's about to get better. I'm hoping that is the case with Nigeria. Hopefully. So, but for me, I'm hoping. Hopefully, but let's leave that. That's a different conversation. Yeah, so the point is for me, it's the global perspective. All right. When I need to show up, I will show up. I've seen some scripts in Nigeria that I'm still checking. I'm still reading them. Okay. And some actors have a dream to be on every. Like if you tune on Netflix now, there are some actors in Nigeria that are on every Nigerian Netflix film, which is a good thing. As long as that is your dream, amazing. But it's not my dream. For me, if I can do one or two good films
major movies, yeah.
Yes, and there's a reason why. Because I noticed that when that pressure is much on you, a lot of, you know, it's a ripple effect. The producers will give you more scripts, you will take more films. The actors that practically go to 2-3 sets in one day for 2-3 films. So when it's time to actually absorb character, there are some films that you got to absorb the character. And that is what sets the difference with the Western films. Because before film starts, they will have given actor 2 months
to go and study the script
of this character. I personally took 1 month of everything I was doing before I started filming KOB2.
Oh, wow, really?
Yes, I was supposed to start an African Magic project. I returned the money.
Wow, that's a sacrifice.
That's what it takes, but it will tell. And I can tell you, most of the major cast in KOB did the same thing too. They type of like, this is not the kind of script that, and that is where we need to start getting to. It needs to be default. And then from that description, they just read this thing they have to do, and they just, you know, you might do a great job, but you don't know how much of an amazing job you will have done if you are taking that, like one film. That's why I respect Shola Shubowale as a person, as an actor. Because you would never, she's one of the few people that, well, I know there are other actors that, but the one that I am close to as a person that would not do 2 projects at the same time, no matter what you're paying her.
Until she's done with one before she moves to the next project.
Not just move immediately. There has to be time. Because that's the way that you have built that character. You have to build out of the character, or else it will reflect in the next season. I was Ade Tiger even when I was not filming on set. Even when we were having drinks, and I was Ade Tiger all through, because it took me 1 month to build into that personality. And then, I mean, it reflected on the film. So I don't think I want to be that actor that wants to be in every Netflix series. That's a good dream. If that is your dream, that's fine. For me, 1 or 2 solid films. KOB we shot, principal photography was 4 months.
So this looks on you, it's like your signature look. And do you see yourself taking it off for a role?
Yes, I will get there eventually. If there's, I will get there. It's not going to be easy. I'm not going to lie to you, but yeah, you have to you have to be able to take that up as a challenge.
Yeah.
And that the way locks are now, I can just, if I have to take it up, I'll keep it somewhere. All I have to do is grow my hair for 1 year. Then I hang it right back if I still want it. So yes, but I know eventually I'll get to it. That's probably the only reason, or the only thing that will make me cut it at some point. It'll be a film role.
If the movie Ade Tiger was a challenging role for you to play, do you have maybe any challenges you want to like share? Any?
The role was a difficult. See, KOB in general was a difficult film to shoot, and it's because when you want to do something impossible, you should be prepared to encounter impossible challenges. So we had difficult challenges. But not just Ade Tiger, it was difficult. But trust me, because we were so united, cast and crew alike, everybody that worked on that project enjoyed every single bit of challenge that it brought.
Wow.
So I had challenges sometimes. Sometimes I was over prepared. Sometimes there was too much heat, and then Kemi was like, "No, that's too much. Tone it down. Tone it down." That happened a lot, actually. Like, no, tone it down. The expression is fine, but it's a little too much. Just step it down. Just
calm down.
I was so up there. I was so up there. So, and then there were other times when, every actor was stayed prepared. We came prepared, but sometimes even as prepared as you are, when it's time to get the action done, because of the kind of things that Kemi is trying to achieve, it takes a certain number of takes. You guys will do it like 5, 6 to 10 times before Kemi is satisfied.
Okay, so now away from Nollywood, away from acting, who is Titi Kuti? Who is Titi Kuti?
Just as you have perceived, easygoing guy. I don't stress nobody. I face my business. I love creating content. I love media. I love my craft. And I love to enjoy life when I can.
How do you enjoy life?
Discover new things. I'm an adventurer. So discover new places, discover new cultures. Basically, I'm an adventurer by spirit. So wherever the adventure leads me, there is no definition to this is my routine for enjoyment. Nah, wherever the adventure leads, when that time is appropriate, I just follow it to the end. Because life is a story, isn't it?
Yeah, it is actually. So if you were not acting, what would you be doing if you were not acting?
You're the second person asking this question. If I was not acting, I probably would be in the military. Or I would be a pilot. Or both, a military pilot.
That's great.
I actually did military school for a very short time. That was my first interest before creativity came to steal me away.
Wow.
So I was actually from age 7, I already saw myself in uniform, or at airport. And I followed through with it. So it was when I started gravitating towards media, that's the interest. You get me? So and trust me, even till now, as at 2 years ago, I still had some very, very, very tempting nudges. Because I still have the spine for it, but I console myself with me. I've always been a service-oriented person, so the military for me was my first love.
Were you raised there in Nigeria or over there? What was it like?
I was raised in Nigeria actually. Childhood was good.
Where
it was an
in
interesting
Nigeria?
time.
Where are you from? To even
Lagos,
start
Nigeria.
with? Where are you from?
I think that already gives up my state of origin.
Where?
I said my name is Titi Kuti. I think that gives up my state of origin already.
Lagos. Oh, great.
Lagos is settlement for everybody, but we are originally from Abeokuta.
Oh, great. That's cool. That's great.
So was interesting. I had very strict parents, but somehow their strictness never got in the way of the direction my interest gravitated. So they never stopped. I mean, at the time when everybody had to wear certain looks, wear a low coat to look like responsible children. I had wild-looking dreadlocks and stuff, and then sometimes they would get the heat from their friends who also had children. Like, how can you allow your? But then it never really affected them. Their strictness
didn't cross
that barrier. Yeah, because they knew where it was coming from. That this guy is just an expressive guy. He likes to express. And then when the modeling started coming in, and I started getting projects, and these same friends that were Always you have been there, for being so
Come back to praise
you. You say, we saw your child on MTN. Oh, I said
that was what I was preparing for.
Yeah. So we saw your child on TV. We saw your child on, we saw him on this, we saw him on that, and they would just laugh, So it was interesting. It was a mix of very, very strict parents who were also not judgmental and willing to allow you gravitate towards the area of your interest. And that also became a responsibility on my part. Because I realized how much trust they has invested in me, and I realized the amount of shit they were getting from their friends back then. That it became a responsible point that I would not betray this trust. So it was like an unspoken guide.
That's great. So I'm just going to ask: are you married, single, in a relationship? Because you're like the hottest guy in that movie, if I can use the word. And I'm sure you must have been getting attentions from ladies, if I'm right. So, which of the three? Married,
as far as the attention is
relationship, single.
Hold on. So this is the only part that I don't go into, unfortunately. I don't talk about my personal life.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
I think what I have to serve humanity or to serve the public is my craft. So how I can use that to, So, and people need to understand, I've watched a lot of people get it wrong, even from behind the scene. You don't allow your personal life and, your career life to mix, because once you open that door, you can't close it back. So you want to keep your personal life personal. So the people who know you personally will know some personal things about you. So just need to keep away from the public.
I think so many people need to come and take a class from you. Because you guys are out there, you are in the spotlight. You really have to have a way to keep your personal life away from that. Okay.
Because you understand that these things affects other people's lives too, and so you don't don't drag other people into. So many times, so many relationships have gotten messy on social media, and I feel horrible. I feel bad because the people watching are just enjoying the show, spectators just watching the show, but these guys affected are dying. Yeah, these guys are dying within their, some people don't get out of it for years. So I've watched that happen too many times to now. No, I won't even tell you where I hang out. I won't. Just let your personal life be your personal life. What you have that is service, which is your craft. Focus on how you can continue to use that to, deliver for the people, make them happy. And that's where my focus is. So for the attention I'm getting from the women, as far as I'm concerned, it's all positive energy. I don't from the perspective of no. If you understand where that no. See, you need to understand where that emotion is coming from. And it's coming from a deep place of having an experience. It means you have given this person an experience. I've met people recently and they're out of seeing me, they were totally speechless.
Wow.
So understanding where that emotion is coming from, you have given this person an experience. It means whatever was wrong with this person at the time, the person was watching your film, did not matter anymore. You left an impact. Yeah. So when you understand that, you know that what you have is a rare privilege. It's a good room for understanding and acceptance. I've been at an event. I was at the Bobby show over the weekend. Yes, in Calgary, Alberta. At some time, it got overwhelming, but because I understood where the emotion was coming from, it gave room for understanding. It gave room for acceptance. I was able to allow a little more because they don't make it does come from a good place. So if you now want to take it to a different level, don't blame the fan for it. You are the one that has something in your mind. Yeah, you are the one that has something. So don't. I mean, for me, I'm not one of those that will say, "Oh, it's the fans." Nah, you are the one that should check yourself. All right, just take the purity of the emotion from where it is coming from. Understand why they are like that.
Thank you so much for coming once again. I appreciate you. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. Thank you for sharing your craft. And we hope that anytime I mail you, you're definitely going to get back to me.
Trust me, I'm looking forward to it. The first thing I want to do when I come is a meet and greet for everybody. Like, let's just vibe and enjoy ourselves.
Yeah, thank you so much. Do enjoy the rest of your day.